Welcome to FPL Selection. Today we'll take a look at how the team is shaping up for Game Week 21, but first a quick look at how we got on in Game Week 20. So 54 points and a nice rank rise of about 100,000 places. It was nice to see my patience with Thiago and Cunha pay off. Getting Gabriel in early as well looks to have been a good move, as he also scored. Had Defcon from Anderson and Lacroix, so that was good. And then Saka only needed 25 minutes. He got an assist and would have actually outscored Haaland on the captaincy if I did end up going that way, which was, certainly wasn't what I was thinking when I saw Saka had been benched. But overall, can't complain really. Still got a few weak links in the team that could be improved. But yeah, we'll certainly take finally after about 5 weeks, moving up the ranks is good to see. So yeah, a little bit of work to be done, but yeah, certainly can't complain. So looking ahead now to Game Week 21, I have one free transfer in the bank. The intention at the moment is to roll, give myself the full 10 days or so before Game Week 22. Just sort of plan out my sort of main, bigger plan really for the route ahead. Which players do I want to get in for the longer term? That kind of thing. So especially in the defence, I'm not happy with the likes of Lacroix, Senesi and Anderson. I think I need to start looking at getting defenders in from the stronger teams, better chance of clean sheets, especially Arsenal, potentially City as well. And the DEFCON points are nice, but when you just can't see a clean sheet coming for the likes of Bournemouth and Fulham, and certainly Palace at the moment just seem very tired, and with their busy schedule, you can just see they're going to drop off in every game really, and it's going to be difficult for them to keep other teams out. Just feel like I'm falling behind. A lot of teams are all going to have probably 2 Arsenal defenders, maybe one from City, maybe Liverpool. And they're backing the better teams, which is generally what we would do before DEFCON. But it's just not working out at the moment. So I think Gabriel is going to become template for everybody. So I think having a second Arsenal defender makes sense just to try and benefit from their clean sheets. I think Timber's the ideal pick. He's likely going to start the majority of the games. He's got the attacking and return potential as well. Sometimes picks up DEFCONs. But I think 6.4 million is quite expensive for him. And I just don't see how I'm going to get him into my team without a wild card at the moment. So, unless I want to cut one of my more expensive midfielders, I might have to look at Hincapi. He's $1 million cheaper. Calafiori is out injured at the moment. But again, that could just end up being a problem I'd have to fix in a few weeks' time. And then if I've only budgeted 5.4, I'm going to sort of struggle to get any of the others in. I think Raya's too expensive when he's only realistically ever going to get you 6 points at the most. So, yeah, I think I'll have to see how they get on in the Liverpool game and just sort of try and figure out, which is the best option, and just take it from there, really. I am open to wildcarding in the next few weeks if it can set me up long term without needing to sort of wait several weeks to build up a few transfers. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Also potentially looking at Mukiele as a budget option. He just continually picks up the DEFCON. Sunderland just look like a great defence. They've got really good fixtures for a little while now. So, yeah, could potentially get him in as a double up with Alderete in some games and just take the chance on them. I think they're far more likely to get clean sheets than the likes of Bournemouth and Fulham. So, yeah, it's another sort of avenue I'm looking at the moment, is that could free up a little bit of budget for me too. In midfield, I'm almost certainly going to get Fernandez back for Cunha. There's talk that he could be back in the squad for the Burnley game in the midweek, so I may end up just bringing him in straight away. I just love how consistent he is. He gets good minutes, so many ways to score points. And yeah, it's nice to have players like that. So he could come in a couple of weeks' time. Similar story with Rice. I think he's just another player I'm keen to get in ASAP. I've looked at him many times this season in this section, and I always end up just sort of going for a more exciting pick. But he's just been so consistent this season. He's playing much further forward now. He's got Zubimendi alongside him. He's got the set pieces. He picks up DEFCON quite regularly. He's 3 million cheaper than Saka, and he's got more points. So, yeah, I think he's a very similar pick to Bruno Fernandes in that, you just never know when you're going to get the points, but they consistently seem to tick along. So, yeah, I think it's time I need to get him in my team, and just leave him there probably the rest of the season, to be honest. The other midfielder I'm looking at is Rodgers. He's been very consistent since around sort of game week 6. I was definitely looking at him sort of around game week 9 or 10, I think it was, in one of my videos, just because you could see he was just getting something every week, getting the assists, and then the goals started to come. And yeah, he's going to play every minute of every game. Villa are having a really good season. He's the main man for them. So I just think he's one of those, again, you stick him in long term and you're just going to tick over with points. Could potentially be on penalties as well. It's a bit debatable with the Villa penalty taker, but yeah, the fixtures for them through to sort of game week 37, really. They don't play Liverpool City until the last 2 weeks of the season. So yeah, it could be another nice long-term pick there. Yeah, as I said, I want to roll this week, but I've got all these picks in mind. So I think if I can just get through this, roll through, see how it looks, that'll help me make up my mind on a few players, I think. Who I want to get rid of, who I want to get in. And, obviously if that's more than 2 or 3 players, then I can look at making the wild card happen, really. Unless it's only going to take me a few transfers. So looking at the current team, first up the defence, and Sanchez is away to Fulham. He missed out on the City game. From what I read, it's a minor injury and he should be back for this one. But obviously I'm sure he's going to get the flag and it'll, have to listen out for any news on that. Dubravka's at home to United, which is obviously not a great fixture, but yeah, I can't really afford to make another goalkeeper transfer at this point. So yeah, hopefully he'll be back and in for that one. And I think, yeah, it's a nice game for Chelsea because Fulham are not going to be. I mean, they're a tricky team to call, Fulham. Sometimes they're very good, sometimes they're just nothing. And I think, there's a bit of rivalry there, West London, but I think it'd be a nice game for Chelsea just to, keep the ball, try and get themselves a couple of goals. And yeah, it should be quite a sort of comfortable game for them if they can get the first goal. So yeah, it's just a good start now. Good run of fixtures starts for Chelsea. So yeah, hopefully we can start that with a clean sheet would be nice. And Senesi is at home to Tottenham. Again, Bournemouth looked crazy playing against Arsenal. They just don't want to defend. They want to attack everybody, which obviously is not great for clean sheet potential. Spurs are a bit of a hit and miss team. They're not scoring loads of goals, so it could potentially be a clean sheet there if Spurs don't show up. Senesi keeps hitting the DEFCON, so at least there's a 3-4 point start to the game. But yeah, they are conceding a lot of goals, Bournemouth. So yeah, it's very much last chance for him really to, show at least a little bit of potential there for a clean sheet. So I'm going to try and watch that game and just try and get a feel for Bournemouth. But I've watched a lot of their games recently and it's basically just we're going to score more than you. So yeah, it's not ideal when you're looking for clean sheets. And Anderson is at home to Chelsea. As I mentioned earlier, it's one of those games, I'm not expecting much from Fulham, but they could just put up a bit of a defensive display like they did against Liverpool, just make it really difficult for Chelsea. Obviously, we don't really know what's happening with the manager at Chelsea either, so yeah, anything could happen really. He keeps hitting DEFCON, which is nice, but yeah, he's very much in the last chance saloon as well. So yeah, we'll have to see how Fulham get on and yeah, if we're gonna maybe get any clean sheets from them in the near future. And Lacroix is at home to Villa. I think it's Palace are looking really tired at the moment. They've done okay in the few games I've seen them recently, but they just seem to tire off at the end. And Lacroix played almost every single game this season, so yeah, there's got to be some tired legs in that defence. And yeah, Villa have been very good this season, obviously taking their chances when they come. So again, not looking for much here. DEFCON again would be nice. They could shut them out. Obviously, I think Palace have got more potential than Bournemouth and Fulham for clean sheets. But yeah, I've just got to see how they look really because I think they have looked tired recently. And yeah, it's a busy schedule for them. So again, he's the other one I'm looking at potentially moving on. Obviously, a bit higher value as well than the others. So yeah, could free up a bit of budget. And Gabriel was at home to Liverpool. Obviously, not an ideal fixture, but Gabriel just showed again last week that he can score from set piece almost every week. He's such a threat. Liverpool, obviously not great at defending set pieces and just not looked good, have they, really? It's not been much improvement from them, even though they've had some results recently. Still not looking like the team from last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal, get a comfortable win to 0 in this one. And yeah, I think everybody's going to have Gabriel in their teams very shortly because, he just finds points every single week. So moving on to the midfield, Saka, home to Liverpool. He's obviously got benched against Bournemouth, so you're expecting a start here. If they play Kirkes at left back, which I'm not expecting, but if they do, then it could be a very good day for Saka. Even Robertson is obviously getting on a little bit and not quite the athlete he was before, but it'll hopefully be nice and fresh. And like I said, I think Arsenal are going to win this one comfortably. I think Liverpool just don't look at that level at the moment, so only needed 25 minutes last week to get the assist, and I wouldn't be surprised if you get double figures here from Saka. Foden is at home to Brighton. Not had the returns recently, Foden, since his little run a few game weeks ago. Another home game, though. Potentially, there's something there for him, but he's quite an expensive player when you don't get anything other than, the few weeks of goals. So it would be nice to get a return from him just to sort of keep the faith. It's a tricky game, Brighton. You just never know what you're going to get from them. They seem to show up against the big teams. And we just never know really with them. So I think a home game for City, you've always got to back them. But Foden's, not quite shown as much as he did a few weeks ago. So for me, he's certainly one I'm debating whether to move on in the near future. But we know the quality of the player, and he just could turn around and, score a couple in this one and then go on another little run. So he's had a lot of minutes recently, so maybe he's a bit leggy. So we'll see how it goes. But he's not going to go anywhere for me for a minute anyway. And Palmer is away to Fulham. Played the full match against City. I don't know if that's because he's up to the fitness level now that he can. He certainly doesn't look, that he's back to his best just yet. So I wonder whether that's just that the temporary manager had that one game and he decided he wanted to keep them all on the pitch just to give him the best chance of getting a result. So there may well be a bench in here for Palmer, depending on how quickly he recovers. But I think it should be a nice fixture for Chelsea, as I mentioned earlier. And obviously, he's going to want to play, I'm sure, and make an impact. So I've been patient with Palmer, getting him in early. I've had a few returns from him, but we're coming into the nice run of fixtures now. So I'm going to start to look for a bit more from him. Maybe not this week. Maybe I'll have to again be patient. It might only be a 20-30 minutes off the bench. And then, the real nice run sort of starts after the FA Cup round. I think it's Brentford and Palace in the next two. And then there's some kind of fixtures after that as well. The likes of West Ham, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley. So hopefully by the time those nice ones come round, he's going to be fully fit. And should get some returns out of him, hopefully. And Cunha is away to Burnley. Finally got a return from him last week against Leeds. He has been playing well for United, but obviously in a bit of a makeshift team with the amount of players we've had out. So it was nice to see him get something. Obviously Burnley away, United are going to be expected to win, but we really struggled against them last time. Just whenever we're having to, break teams down, we just always struggle. Burnley are going to, put up that block and try to counter on us, and be interesting to see if the likes of Fernandes and Mount are back and if they can start. But it may well be another makeshift team, and Cunha's just going to have to pick up the scraps, really. But if he does get his chances, he does tend to take them. He's a quality player. So, this might be the last week for him in my team. But, obviously against Burnley, you're always expecting something. So, if he can get the goal, he's got a good chance of bonus like he did this week. So, should be something there from Cunha, hopefully. And moving on to the forwards, Haaland is at home to Brighton. As I said before, you never know what to expect from Brighton, really. They can put up a really good display and make it really difficult for Haaland. Or, he's going to, have a real field day if they do sort of open up. I think the likes of Van Heck and Dunk are going to enjoy a battle against Haaland. He was unlucky not to score against Chelsea, hit the inside of the post. And you just know after not scoring in 2 games, he's going to want really badly to get himself on the score sheet. So likely be my captain again this week. Just there's nothing else that's really standing out at the moment, especially with a quick turnaround again. Minutes doubts on people. I think, yeah, I'm just going to play safe with Haaland again and just, back him to not blank 3 in a row, I think. And Thiago is at home to Sunderland. He's been playing much better recently, Thiago. Got his hat-trick against Everton. It's a home game for Brentford, so you're always expecting them to create some chances for him. Obviously, Sunderland have been really good defensively this season, so I'm not expecting too much here, but if he does get his chances, which he should do, because Brentford are very good at creating chances at home, hopefully there's a good chance of something here. And yeah, I'm really glad I stayed patient with him because it's not looked great for a little while, but he is their talisman. If they're gonna score, he's more than likely going to be involved. He's on penalties as well. I think he's a nice price. There's not many good forwards in the game at the moment, so I'm really glad I held on to him and was patient. So they've got a nice run for a little while now, Brentford. So yeah, he's going to stick for a little while in my team, I think. So in summary, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Haaland captain again. Just nothing else standing out for me this week to even take the chance. I'll keep the vice captaincy on Saka. Just I think he's most likely to start this week out of my midfield. And he's fairly consistent. So if it comes to it, then transfer wise, I say I really want to roll this week. I keep making these transfers and not building up anything. So yeah, I just want to assess. So I'll make a plan after this week, potentially wildcard early. Let's see where we're at after this game. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.